And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. But they gave me.
The United States and Israel believed the war with Iran would be quick, controlled, and limited. But within days, that assumption collapsed. What began as a targeted military campaign has now spiraled into a regional crisis, shaking global energy markets and forcing Washington to confront a hard reality. The conflict did not unfold the way it was planned. According to a report by the New York Times, President Donald Trump and his advisors significantly miscalculated how Iran would respond to the strike. Let's break down what happened. At the start of the operation, U.S. officials believed Iran's retaliation would follow a familiar pattern. In past confrontations across the Middle East, Tehran's responses were often measured, symbolic strikes designed to avoid full-scale escalation. The expectation in Washington was simple. Iran would retaliate, but only briefly. Oil markets might see a short spike, then tensions would cool. But once the war began, those assumptions proved wrong. Instead of restraint, Iran launched a far more aggressive response. Missiles and drones were fired across the region, targeting U.S. military bases in the Gulf and striking Israeli positions as well. The scale of the retaliation surprised officials in Washington. Even the Pentagon acknowledged the reaction was stronger than expected. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth admitted during a Pentagon briefing that the military did not fully anticipate the way Tehran would respond.
Big mistake by the Iranian regime to start targeting its neighbors right away, exposing who they are and what they're all about, indiscriminate targeting, flailing recklessly at the beginning. I can't say that we anticipated necessarily that's exactly how they would react, but we knew it was a possibility. And I think it was a demonstration of the desperation of that regime then and that regime now.
For Iran's leadership, this was not just another regional clash. It was seen as an existential threat to the regime, and that perception drove a far more forceful military reaction. One of the most serious consequences quickly emerged in the world's most critical energy choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage between Iran and Oman carries roughly 1/5 of the world's oil supply. As the conflict escalated, commercial shipping through the strait slowed dramatically. Some routes effectively became impassable. Global oil prices surged, energy markets rattled, and gasoline prices began rising inside the United States, adding domestic political pressure on the administration. At the same time, questions began emerging inside Washington about the broader strategy. After a closed-door briefing for lawmakers, Senator Christopher Murphy warned that the administration lacked a clear plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or stabilize global shipping. According to the senator, officials admitted they did not know how to safely get the waterway operational again. Behind the scenes, reports suggested growing pessimism among some U.S. officials. Many believed the war had no clear endgame, but few were willing to openly challenge the president's public message that the military campaign was succeeding. Meanwhile, the cost of the war began climbing rapidly. Pentagon officials revealed that the United States used roughly $5.6 billion worth of munitions in just the first 2 days of fighting, a far higher burn rate than many expected. At the same time, Iranian strikes continued against U.S. bases and regional allies, further complicating the strategic picture. What was supposed to be a limited confrontation had now become something far larger, a regional military crisis, an economic shock to global energy markets, and a strategic challenge for Washington. The episode now stands as a stark reminder of how quickly modern conflicts can spiral beyond their original plans. Because in war, the biggest miscalculation is often assuming the other side will react exactly the way you expect. And in this conflict, that assumption has already proven dangerously wrong.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.